Hey, what's going on guys? Weeaboo Trash here, and welcome to today's video. You know guys, I don't necessarily like it when people who don't understand my preferred media for entertainment choose to infiltrate it, find one thing they don't like, complain about it, and then either their normie audience just goes along with it, or they turn people off from enjoying a genuinely good series. So today, we got some stuff that I want to go through regarding those who appear to be quite uncomfortable with what is probably God's greatest creation, anime titties. Now, these aren't necessarily people who are constructively breaking down why they simply don't like fan service. No, these are people who are clearly not familiar with anime as a medium or have become so bitter over fan service that they completely misconstrue the series that they're directly hating on. So let's break it down.
I'm Mr. Frog, this is my show, I eat the bug, I love you.
So it was just another lazy night, me and my partner were both on our phones when I hear the peculiar call of the anime tourist. Upon further interest, I found the source of this illegal immigration was FunkyFrogBait, a very successful commentary channel that covers various topics. I've heard some of their videos playing in the background and I don't really cling to their vibe. Absolute congrats to them that they can appeal to so many people and build a very powerful online empire, but they personally don't draw me in. However, let me tell you what does interest me. I'm tired of anime fan service.
Now, it's my problem.
Yeah, ironic that I'm the frog taking the bait from this funk. Now, I want to preface this by saying, I don't think I've ever had so much to say from so little to work with. And this is coming from a guy who got attention because of Twitter drama.
Oh my god, there's this new anime, you have to watch it. Does it have an ungodly amount of fan service in it? Be honest with me. I don't know what you're talking about. Does every single female character in this anime exist solely for the viewer to say, awooga, me likey?
Ah, okay, yep, that's predictable. Well, I can already tell why I don't vibe with their content. It's because they come off as just another pretentious TikToker, not really carrying any particular charm or talent, just an average person who puts on a creator's face and hits record. Even if their more recent content doesn't necessarily reflect this, that's the vibe I get from this video, and frankly, it's annoying. You're telling me that every anime that you get recommended has big bouncing anime boobs. Well, I guess I can't blame you if you surround yourself by the people who only stick to the hyper mainstream stuff and not really anything else. And even then, the most extreme example I can think of is My Hero, which, by the way, I haven't even seen.
I haven't really been paying attention that much. Actually, if you could just give me a general estimate of the amount of times cleavage and or the upskirt area of a woman is featured predominantly on screen per episode, that would be really helpful. That's not fair, okay? Pretty princess unicorn fighters have to wear revealing outfits because their skin uses refracted light to generate their rainbow power.
Yeah, also not a very good move to portray people like this as nothing more than brain-dead gooners who are nothing but hornballs who don't have any real taste in anime. I mean, yes, I'll be honest, those people exist, but even they usually only limit themselves to the lowest quality ecchi, aka opinion immediately invalid. Now here's the problem that I have with talking points like this. Hot take, but this is not strictly an anime problem. It's a genre problem. You have to know your sources and find what you enjoy. So how about I, someone who's actually put in thousands of hours into anime, recommend you some series that you may actually enjoy. Tomo-chan Is a Girl has barely any fan service in it, and it's my personal favorite anime slash manga. Kiss Him Not Me has an incredibly funny and cute story with more yaoi than anything else. Zom 100 does have its moments of nudity, but is in no way oversaturated, and is one of the greatest zombie stories ever told. Uzaki-chan Wants to Hang Out does have a single panty shot and some fan service here and there, but is primarily centered on its fun characters and chill romantic story. Though I personally don't recommend season 2, it's pretty boring. My Dress Up Darling does indeed have boobs and panties, but well enough makes up for its humor and one of the greatest main characters ever put to manga. So I would advise you take the suggestion of someone who actually explores anime instead of treating people who watch it like a bunch of hornballs. Another thing to mention, a lot of series that have these themes are made for men. The core demographic is the male audience. Men like sexy women, so the show has sexy women. Yes, you can say that it gets repetitive and unnecessary, but take it from me who used to roll their eyes at fan service all the time. I just accept that the genre is not for me, so I moved on and found even more series that I enjoy. I'm just so sick of the women argument with anime being brought up so many times. So let me balance it out for you. If female characters are made to be sexy as a romantic interest of another character, character, then that very often means that in common shonen, this runs the risk of the main male character having a copy-pasted motivation and also a very stale personality. It can go both ways here, it's just one is admittedly a tad more obnoxious.
Shut up, you degenerate, and crawl back into the goon cave that spat you out. Okay, well, how many Gojo Thirst edits are on your For You page right now? Shut
up! Okay, my respect has been restored here. I'll give you points for honesty, because that seems to be a rather common theme. People who complain about sexy women in anime are very often into sexy men in anime, which is completely okay. I, for one, don't give a rat's ass if you choose to goon over men in anime. Just don't scream and shout because people do the same with female characters. Now, to people who want to say that this is a skit or it's just satire, my problem with this is that they set themselves up for failure in that regard. The title of the video points out the specific gripes that they have, and the quote-unquote satire that they deliver comes off as more whining than anything. So while yes, you could say that it is indeed satire, I would make the argument that it's not very good satire. What it comes off to me is just your basic bitching and coping about anime tits. It's my experience and personal impression from this that you saw nothing but hyper mainstream anime, saw some themes you don't like, and carried over to your channel to whine about it, without even attempting to explore any more options within the anime medium. Because if you did, you would know that not every series is like this. You would know that it's limited to your choice of genre. But you clearly didn't do that, because again, you gave the most bland and basic mainstream opinion and your normie audience just ate it up. Speaking of which, let's move on to that. This literally describes 99.9% of isekai animes. Okay. Then don't watch isekai. What, do you want me to hold your hand down the escalator? I think I speak for everyone when I say that we'd all rather keep our anime and our porn separate, thank you very much. Do you have any idea how hard you have to look to find series that even come close to being pornographic? And if you do find it, they have genre tags and ratings for a reason. Let's look at this in the context of this video. A woman's panties and large titties is the equivalent of a full-blown pornographic experience. Yeah, you know, I used to think this way as well, when I was a porn addict. Spy Family was the first anime I watched. It did not prepare my mind for the rest of the shows. It's like someone sugarcoats history when you're in elementary. Then you get to high school and they could care less. That was the dumbest fucking real world comparison you could have chosen. You found an anime you liked. You can find several more. Real quick, I just want to take some time to shout out some of my peoples. Big thanks to Obsidian for the artwork used in my videos. I'll be linking her stuff down below. Please go check her out. Also, a special shout out to my frequent commenters, Actual Deer, Alantha Rosewood, Sky Raider, Sleepy Rulu, Amy Similton, and Joker Onhiro. I appreciate you guys being active on my channel. If I could, I'd kiss you all. Maybe take you out to dinner. We can share a Shirley Temple. If I missed anyone, I am very sorry. Top comment down below gets a shout out in a future video. You guys probably remember this infamous clip of a cosplayer from a few months back. We have this interviewer asking a question regarding anime tropes. Let's see what she has to say.
What is an anime trope that you're tired of seeing?
Harems with a male MC. I'm tired of it. I don't want to see men walking around getting girls.
Harems with a male MC. Why are you watching anime? Why do you hate a trope that's, again, limited to a particular genre? The tag is right there, harem. The front cover, male MC. At this point, it's not even a trope issue for you. Again, it's a genre issue, which is completely fine if you aren't a fan, but the more she speaks, the worse it gets.
I want to see girls walking around getting girls. Yeah. Where are the Yuri harems? Where are they at? You know how, like, SAO is a harem, right? But it's a kind of family-friendly-ish, like it's a, you know, mainstream anime. I want a girls' girl anime that's harem-based, that is, like, mainstream and, like, friendly and romantic. That's what I want.
If you don't want to see guys going around having women fall in love with them, then why have you watched enough to know that you don't like it? If you don't like beef, why did you book a reservation at a steakhouse? Oh, and that comment about no Yuri anime? Yep, right there. 2 clicks away. If you want something so bad, don't always expect it to just be handed to you. SAO is a family-friendly series. Yeah, I think the rape scenes would beg to differ. Now, the one thing I will agree with her on is that yes, there should be more mainstream series like this. And by mainstream, I mean something that's well-known and relatively easy to find. But here's the thing, the core demographic of anime, on average, are men. A lot of men love anime, and the money listens. They make anime for men, men watch it, they share it around. Also, we're dealing with overseas TV shows here. Anime isn't even in your territory. We don't get to decide what we want. It can suck, yes, but anime and manga is so mass-produced that you can find anything that suits your taste. You just have to go look for it. Throughout my years in this medium, I'd have to say that Hana Uzaki has to be the most cancelled character of all time. When the anime came out, people were crapping on her design for admittedly valid reasons. However, things were taken too far, claiming that she's an over-sexualized character or is baiting pedophiles. Due to her being a short stack and having big booba, haters could not properly come to a conclusion, so they did whatever they could to express their distaste over the college girl. One of the worst examples I've come across is a blog posted on the medium. Ironic. Alright guys, I'm triggered. When do we cancel Uzaki-chan? With a close-up of her chest captioned, "This is it. This is the show." Yeah guys, the show is simply about her chest. It's not about two polar opposite personalities and the adventures they share. It's not about the heavily implied loneliness our lead heroine carries. It's not about the influence she has on our loner of a male lead. It's not about the fun, light-hearted humor the show has. No, it's just about this girl's tits. Content warning, female objectification / fetishization. Bad writing, spoilers I guess, but do you really give a shit? This show has no plot. So you're complaining about objectification of a female character while at the same time ignoring all that a series has to offer simply because she has a large chest. Bad writing? A show with no plot? It's called Slice of Life. It's not supposed to have an evolving plot. We're gonna skip the first couple segments of this page because it's just a cluster of word salad with zero value. I went into this wanting to write an essay about Uzaki-chan, but I quickly ran into a minor problem, mainly that Uzaki-chan is such a vaciously empty piece of media that it is literally impossible to write an essay about it. Uzaki-chan wants to hang out stars one Sakurai Shinichi, a junior in college. He spends most of his time alone, interacting with a few people from campus here and there. Uzaki Hana, the title character and 1 year below him, decides to insert herself into his life and force Sakurai to be more social. I thought you said it didn't have a plot. That was the perfect synopsis for the show right there. If this was my first time hearing about it, I would be very interested and would ironically be thanking you. But Sakurai doesn't want this. He's perfectly fine the way he is. He has a good work, school, home life balance going on. He takes care of himself, he has the friends he wants, he eats right and sleeps on time. Quite frankly, he doesn't need Uzaki at all. She just shows up and refuses to leave. And what's more bizarre, ostensibly, she's there because Sakurai is a loner who never talks to anyone and never spends time with people. But whenever Sakurai does spend time with people other than Uzaki, she just gets jealous and clingy. From someone who actually read and watched the series, I can say she doesn't necessarily get jealous, she's just surprised that a loner like Sakurai actually has friends. At the very least, can I ask that you thoroughly absorb the series before speaking on it like it's Nagatoro? By the way, fuck Nagatoro. In one point, he even throws her out of his workplace because she was being annoying. If this show was trying to subvert the manic pixie dream girl trope, it would be about slowly learning that she's the one who needs Sakurai and not the other way around. The moral of the story should be that it's perfectly okay to be content alone like Sakurai is. Most of all, a true subversion of the trope would require that Uzaki and Sakurai not be shipped together. Instead, they both realize that, while they can be friends, Sakurai doesn't need Uzaki to adopt him, and Uzaki probably deserves to date a guy as loud and boisterous as she is. My brother from Tartarus, you would know from finishing the first season that Uzaki chooses to be with Sakurai as a way to make up for how he helped her overcome her own shyness and reclusive behavior. You've deprived yourself of such a solid series all because you were distracted by her huge tits. He then criticizes the show because Uzaki cleaned him while he was sick, spilled water on them, got flustered because he called her by her first name? What are you trying to prove here, dude? So that's why I think it's more accurate to say the show is just too incompetent to even do a bad, overdone trope right, because it's still doing the manic pixie dream girl thing. We're still supposed to ship him. Uzaki still adopts Sakurai. We go through the motions of an MPDG story. The only difference is that the guy does not want it to happen, and it happens anyway. And this is supposed to be endearing somehow? It sounds to me like you're not a fan of typical slice of life, and truth be told, I'm not really either. I want a little more diversity in my stories. However, Uzaki completely proved me wrong in that aspect. I was so skeptical about the series because I myself was a projector. I thought it was going to be another stupid series with annoying main characters and heavy fan service. I tried it and I was wrong. It completely destroyed what I knew about slice of life. It sucks that you had to ruin that for yourself. The elephant in the room. I'll just rip the bandage off now. Uzaki has enormous tits, and that's the only reason why anyone's watching this show. Her shirt literally says big on it. Please. Dude, We get it. You like titties. I mean, that's one thing we have in common. I haven't seen someone self-reporting this much since those Among Us live streams. But this show is just so empty. Nothing happens. Read these episode synopsis from Wikipedia and tell me with a straight face that this is engaging slice of life with well-rounded characters you can see yourself in. This is engaging slice of life with well-rounded characters I can see myself in. What the fuck am I supposed to say? The one time in episode 2 when a convoluted series of events led Uzaki getting stuck in a bush so Sakurai had to pull her out. Except he couldn't because her chest is so massive it got stuck in the branches. So Sakurai was forced to hold her waist and thrust his hips into her ass back and forth while innocent civilian watched for a whole 2 minutes. Am I supposed to say this is peak of animation? Am I supposed to act like this is an entertaining and engaging experience? Okay, at first you were just misunderstanding the series. Now you're just mixing up what actually happened. Sakurai was not just dry humping Uzaki for 2 full minutes. The entire series of events that led to that and all that took place lasted around 2 minutes. Anyone who's actually seen the show can confirm that. Or is it just fan service, like the 500 other fan service shows that exist in the universe? Fan service that will always be inferior to actual porn, which you can get for free anywhere, and that will always be way more satisfying than teasing vaguely sexual situations anyway, because it's fucking porn and that's what porn does. Again, we're doing this again. Here we have a panty shot and misunderstandings involving a big titty character, and you immediately equate that to people fucking. I genuinely hope you find some healthier hobbies, my guy. This is not good for you. In conclusion, if you don't like anime, don't watch anime. If there are certain series you don't enjoy, don't force yourself to watch it. You can hate fan service. Again, I don't always like it either, but stop invading spaces and genres you don't understand and pretending you actually watch anime. Please find something you actually enjoy instead of non-constructively judging a series you don't even bother paying attention to. That's all I'm asking for. Because guys, I am sick and tired of hearing people bitch about fan service, and I've grown tired of bitching about fan service. It's not going anywhere, and to say that it's not important to some aspects of anime culture would not feel very accurate. And even more so is that I've grown such a huge level of ick regarding this discussion. When I see someone make the argument, I hate fan service, or women are so sexualized in anime, my first thought isn't, I agree, it's, okay, what's in your closet? Many such cases. So that right there is gonna do it for today. If y'all enjoyed, feel free to like and sub. Stay safe, stay sane, get the fuck out of my hobby. Goodbye.